Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Stage 1 of Desert Brutality 2020 in the Armored Plus P Division, Trench Assault. Alright, this was Day 3 of Desert Brutality 2020. First day of my run in Armored Plus P, and even though this is Stage 1, this was my second stage of the day. So we've got pretty good weather conditions at this point. It's warmed up dramatically. The field jacket can come off. I've just done 2 days of retro heavy, and please check out my previous videos that I've been putting up about that. And for the people running in the Scout and Plus P divisions, the 6 stages they went through were the same ones that the people who were in Classic, Retro, and Kalashnikov divisions went through. This time, instead of running with an FAL and a Browning high power, I chose to go Armored Plus P, and I ran an H-car and a Hudson H9. Choice of weapons, as one competitor said, a bold choice. And you really get a comparison as you watch this, just the penalties you pay for the bigger, heavier weapon system. Later in the video, I'll put in one of my teammates' runs that he made with his AR, and you can just see he's running with a gun half the weight and a whole lot less power than what I was running with, and it showed. It showed in the close-up fight where the AR is really kind of the master over full-powered battle rifle round guns. Okay, so this stage started out here in Plus P the exact same way it started out in Retro Heavy. So you started off at the first tank trap, you get the go signal, you run to the second tank trap, you have 4 steel targets to engage, you got to get them 2 hits each. You can do them in order, or you can double tap. Obviously double tapping was the way to go. And then you had a trench in front of you and you had 2 paper targets. Now from the tank trap you could engage them if you wanted to, and some people did. Matter of fact, the people with the better scores tended to do that. But where's the fun in that? Come on. As you can see in the video coming up, I charged them, and there was no doubt I got my hits. Let's just put it that way. You'll see it in the actual run footage. Once you got down into the trench, you re-engaged those same 4 steel targets, got those hits, and then from there, although not as easy, you could technically have gotten headshots on the paper targets in the next trench, or you can take them on the run. Is there any other choice? You're taking it on the run for the fun. And once again, when you see the video of my run, there will be no doubt I got those targets. Once those targets were neutralized, you went down the trench, you showed cleared, and then the targets that you would have been engaging with your rifle, you now engaged with your pistol, the steel targets that is. And they're set at a series of fighting positions in front of you. And you put 2 hits on that steel target, and then you run up to the fighting position next to it. And there, you put 2 hits on steel on the next fighting position, and so on until you get to the last one. Now when you go into the last fighting position, there's not a piece of steel waiting for you, there is a pistol spinner. And this pistol spinner was everybody's nemesis. It was a hard spin. It didn't want to go over. If you're watching my run there, I get a lot of good hits, very few misses, and the thing just doesn't want to go over. I was probably handicapped by the fact the H9 running just 15 round magazines, but you know, it should have in theory been able to gone over. There was a couple times I definitely built up momentum. The first thing is I ran into that and just was using the magazine I already had in the gun, got 4 or 5 rounds off, and it was moving. But by the time I did the magazine, and I wasn't using speed pouches or anything like that, the regular pouches holding the magazine were just Velcro standard pouches you use in a military situation, not the fastest reload. And by the time I got reloaded, the spinner had lost all its momentum. 15 more rounds downrange with about 13 hits, and out of ammo again, and just fumbled that reload. Took 10 seconds to not get another magazine into the gun, although in all honesty it wasn't going to go over. I mean, I had it moving, but not enough momentum to go over. Unfortunately, that spinner was the bane of everybody in my squad. As far as I know, nobody in the squad I was on got it over, and I'd heard from the RO that prior to our arrival there was one person in the previous squad that did it. Please don't take me as gospel. If you were in the previous squad and you got it to go over, all the more to you, because I'm very impressed. Overall, I think you could probably count on both hands the number of people who spun that spinner in the whole match. And once you were timed out, that was it. That was the stage. It was, as I've said previously, it was a great stage. It's got a lot of real-world military application. You're going from one obstacle and going to another one, taking out your enemy, moving up this position, then taking the next position. Yeah, it's real-world stuff, and they found a good way to put it into a competition environment. So let me stop yakking here, and everybody go ahead and take a look at my run.
Are you ready? Ready. Stand by.
Third target, right?
Third. 1, 2, 1, 2. Clear, coming clear. Clear. Move up. Watch muzzle, watch muzzle. Good, move up. Watch your muzzle.
Sorry about that.
Doing good, breathe. Seconds.
Uh,
10 seconds.
All right, one of the things you're going to notice in that run is the first of many malfunctions I'm going to start to have. I'll go over it more in detail when we do the gear segment, but basically ammo was a problem for me. I was using some Pakistani surplus in a really high quality rifle, and rot gut ammo and good rifle are not the greatest mix in the world. You notice right off the bat there, the first thing I pull the trigger, I've got to eject a round. And that was a common theme on just about all stages, had a lot of hard primers, which was really weird because didn't have that problem when I tested that ammo out before the match. And even on the second day where I took time to go test fire because I was having some problems, only ran into one round and all the others fired fine for me and other people. So that was a frustrating thing, is because there were random rounds that were bad, but not a lot of them. But still, it was just frustrating. The other thing is I made a strategic error in when I ran this match. When I ran this stage in retro heavy with my FAL, I noticed a lot of people with the older rifles having trouble because they had period correct slings on theirs. And I decided not to lose all that time fighting my sling, so I just carried my rifle and grounded it every time. And that was a good stage for me on retro heavy, so it worked once before, it'll work again. And that was a mistake this time around, because in Armored Plus P, where you can have all the modern advantages, I had a Viking Tactics sling on the rifle. It would have been very easy for me to sling that rifle, left it slung, and then deal with all the pistol targets. Probably cost myself a good 10 or 12 more seconds just by grounding the rifle, grabbing it, and then, even though I had it to use, I still made my problem harder because I didn't deploy my bipod, which would have made my life a little easier, wouldn't have been over as far, the rifle would have been propped up, easy to grab, and I didn't do any of that. So, I didn't help myself out by using a strategy that had worked but then realizing I had changed weapon systems. Now, for comparison's sake, go ahead and check out my teammate's run and see how he did just running in an AR, and you can notice a difference in the rate of fire, basically.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Stand by. One, two. One, two. One, two. One, two. Watch your muzzle.
Thank you.
One, two. One, two. One, two. One, two. Square!
Come on.
Easy, let it lift. One, two.
Go, Matt, go!
One,
Come on.
relax. Two. One, two. One,
Oh, son of a bitch. Oh.
two.
All right, reload going into that spinner.
Top first, Matt.
You're punching him low. Easy, make that hit now. There you go.
Oh,
Stop
fucking
it.
stopped it.
Okay. Now. You're punching the gun. Let it lift. There you go. Good single hits. Take it easy. You've got time. Grip the gun already. Leave it gripped. Pull the trigger.
Figure out why I'm hitting the... That was bad.
Time. Finished unload. Show clear. Handgun is clear. Rifle.
Now that you've watched both runs, one of the things you can see is everything matters. The old saying, ounces equal pounds, pounds equal pain, kind of came true here. I had this full-blown, almost Michelin Man-like armor system on me with all the magazines, the water, the IFAK, and all that stuff. And my armor was bumping near 30 pounds. You know, my teammates, his very minimalist way he went, and he was just over the required weight for the class, which was 16 pounds. So carrying about double the weight, had a weapon that was easily the weight of 2 ARs, it was probably more like 2.5, probably 3 Stoner Do rifles. And all that kind of added up, you know. My follow-up shots firing a full power battle cartridge versus intermediate cartridge were just not as quick. When I swung from target to target, the momentum of the gun carried it past, so it took longer to get on target stable enough to get the hits. Now that being said, you know, when I shot my trench targets, there was no doubt they were hit. Those 223s, you had to go ahead and look at the target and see where the holes were. Just saying. But overall, it shows the difference in the capabilities of weapon systems, and it makes for a good analogy, and I hope you all enjoyed the comparison. We hope you're enjoying this coverage of Desert Brutality 2020. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and tune in tomorrow for Stage 2.